Forbes has just unveiled its 2025 list of the most powerful women in sports, and Angel Reese is reportedly fuming. The reason? Caitlin Clark secured the number 4 spot, placing her alongside franchise owners and top-tier executives, effectively making her the most powerful athlete on the entire list. Meanwhile, Reese did not appear anywhere on it. We're talking about a single season in which Clark generated $8.1 million, completely shifting the sports landscape. But here's the part that truly shocks people. This is far from the first time Reese has expressed irritation or envy toward Clark's rise. From their college rivalry all the way into their professional careers, a clear pattern of resentment has followed the two, and it has only grown more noticeable. Before diving into the full breakdown, the video encouraged viewers who support Caitlin to drop the phrase, "Baby goat over baby giraffe," in the comments. Now, here's what separates this Forbes ranking from the typical sports accolades people are used to. Forbes did not judge Clark on her shooting percentages or assist numbers. Instead, they evaluated her in the same category as women who control billion-dollar franchises and oversee massive sports enterprises, measuring her purely by her business and economic power. The only individuals ahead of Clark were literal billionaires and people who own entire sports organizations. That's the level of company she keeps at only 23 years old. Clark didn't just make a list of athletes. She was identified as the 4th most influential woman in the entire sports world, sitting right beside corporate leaders with enormous authority. While many new WNBA players struggled to earn even 6 figures across their entire careers, Clark earned $8.1 million in her very first season. Her actual WNBA salary was only about $70,000, meaning she made over 115 times her official basketball income from endorsements alone. Breaking down where that money came from makes the situation even clearer. Nike took an enormous gamble by signing Clark to a signature shoe deal that is completely unlike the usual endorsement agreements given to WNBA players. Gatorade secured a major partnership with her, treating her with the same promotional weight as their NBA headliners. Wilson signed her to an equipment deal that positions her as the face of women's basketball going forward. These are not ordinary sponsorships. These are the kinds of multi-million-dollar partnerships generally reserved for global icons like LeBron James or Stephen Curry. And here's where things become even more extraordinary. Clark's earnings surpass what many long-tenured WNBA veterans make even after 15 or 20 seasons. The average WNBA salary sits at around $120,000, and players who have spent over a decade building their careers in the league are still making less in total than Clark made as a rookie through endorsements. Sue Bird lasted 21 seasons. Diana Taurasi has dominated for over 20 years. Yet Clark earned more in a single year than many of these legends accumulate across long stretches of their careers. Forbes used specific metrics that placed Clark above established industry executives and franchise owners. They examined her ability to generate revenue, her influence on major media contracts, her effect on league attendance, and her unmatched capacity to shift markets. In their eyes, Clark functions as an independent business empire. She's not just an athlete who performs on the court. She fuels entire economic systems connected to women's sports. Clark's Nike agreement is another example of that reality. Most WNBA players receive small appearance fees and free gear, but Clark received a signature shoe line, large guaranteed payments, and revenue-sharing opportunities. Nike believes Clark can sell shoes the same way Michael Jordan revolutionized sneaker culture. That's a level of institutional confidence no women's basketball player has ever been given. But the most astonishing fact is this: Clark earned more money in one season than some women's sports franchises are worth. There are WNBA teams valued below the income she generated by herself. At this point, Clark isn't functioning as a typical player. She's operating in the same financial space as the people who own sports teams and oversee professional leagues. Forbes essentially declared Clark a business giant disguised as a 23-year-old basketball prodigy. They highlighted her ability to attract new audiences to women's basketball, noting that her connection with fans creates lasting financial ripple effects. Clark gets casual sports viewers to tune in. She inspires young girls to ask their parents for basketball gear. She turns regular season matchups into national events. Their recognition reflects Clark's work ethic and dedication, but equally her unparalleled ability to expand markets. Whenever Clark plays, ratings jump. When she appears in opposing arenas, ticket prices surge. Whenever she posts online, her engagement skyrockets. Forbes measures economic influence, and Clark consistently demonstrates it. This level of financial dominance also explains why some players may feel overshadowed or threatened by Clark's rapid ascension. While others fight for respect and visibility within traditional basketball spaces, Clark is competing in a completely different economic category. She's not battling fellow WNBA players for mid-level sponsorship opportunities. She's operating in the same commercial sphere as Fortune 500 power executives. That's an entirely different universe, and it's clear that not everyone is comfortable watching her surge so far ahead. Now let's address the long-running pattern that predates this Forbes announcement. Angel Reese's reaction to Clark's ranking wasn't an isolated moment. It's simply the latest chapter in a multi-year trend of jealousy and competitiveness. From their NCAA rivalry to low-key social media shade, Reese has continuously positioned herself as Clark's counterpart, even while market data consistently elevates Clark far above her. The timeline reveals everything. During the college years, whenever Clark drew massive attention for her performances, Reese would immediately find a way to reinsert herself into the public conversation. When Clark broke major scoring records at Iowa, Reese would post workout clips or make comments about her own skills. Whenever Clark received national attention for her deep three-point shooting, Reese shifted into discussions about how underrated she felt. The WNBA draft marked the first major moment when this contrast became undeniable. Clark went first overall to Indiana with enormous media buzz and instant endorsement deals. Reese went 7th to Chicago and watched Clark dominate every conversation surrounding the rookie class. Not long after, Reese began dropping subtle digs. Her efforts to craft her own signature moments frequently aligned with Clark's biggest achievements. When Clark secured her historic Nike partnership, Reese revealed her Reebok endorsement days later. When Clark put together breakout WNBA performances, Reese timed her social media posts or interviews to coincide. This was not random timing. It was an attempt to ride Clark's massive wave of public interest. The most revealing example came during WNBA All-Star Weekend. Reese launched her Reebok campaign that same weekend, the exact moment Clark was sidelined due to injury and ticket prices crashed.